pleasure to introduce Bob. He's a distinguished professional, has a great career helping business owners and employees as Vice President of Town Insurance, and which is a town family company. Bob provides strategic direction for clients in East North Carolina and has served on various committees, including Professional Insurance Agents Association, Independent Insurance Agents of Virginia, PIA Workers' Compensation Advisory Council. He brings to public service his passion for identifying creative solutions and developing affordable and cost-effective programs. He and his wife Linda reside in Kill Hills, and they have 2 sons and 4 grandchildren. Bob's role in public service includes serving as Dare County Commissioner since 2012. He's currently serving as 5th as Chairman of the Commissioners. Bob represents Dare County Board of Commissioners on several boards and committees: Dare County Health and Human Services Board, as a trustee for the College of Albemarle, Chairman of the Dare County Control Group, on the Roanoke Island Historical Association, and the Dare Bombing Range Advisory Council. Prior to his election to the Dare County Board of Commissioners, Bob served as Mayor Pro Tem for the town of Kill Hills from 2006 to 2011, and as town of Kill Hills Commissioner from 1999 to 2001. He's also a former chairman of the Outer Banks Business Bureau. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Bob Woodard to the podium.
Thank you, Ronnie. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I guess Ronnie decided not to mention my Nobel Peace Prize. Ronnie, thank you so much for that introduction. I really, really appreciate that. Good morning, Dare. Good morning, Dare. Good morning, Dare. You know, it's funny, while I was sitting there waiting for him to introduce me, I was walking up here and I was thinking that all of us in this room this morning, right now, at this hour, today, none of us know exactly what I'm about to say. I'm reminded as a kid, going to church on Sunday, my buddies and I, we would always sit in the back of the room, and we would sit back there waiting for the minister to do his sermon, and all 3 of us couldn't wait to get out of there. We knew 12 o'clock we were going to get out of there. And I saw the minister pull his watch off, and he'd always put that up there like that. You know what? I have always wanted to do that. Always wanted to do that. But the problem is, the minister never looked at it after that. So when 12 o'clock came, me and my 2 buddies, we were out the back door. Sermon finished or not, we were out the back door. I hope y'all won't do that to me this morning now, because I'm going to try to go through this as fast as I can. All of us here this morning share something in common. We know that we're blessed to live in the greatest county in North Carolina. We've got so much to be thankful for because we've got a vibrant and caring community. What sets Dare County apart from any others, Betty Jo, is the way all of us here, right here in this room this morning, work together collaboratively with each other. With each other. I'm proud to be chairman of the Dare County Board of Commissioners, but I'm more proud to be able to stand before you this morning on behalf of Vice Chairman Overman. Stand up, Wally. Commissioner Ross, Commissioner Steve House, Commissioner Jim Tobin. Rob, stand up. Stand up, guys. Don't be bashful. I asked you to stand up. You know? I don't care. I don't care, because y'all are what... Danny, I'm sorry, Danny. I didn't see you hiding back there. That's what drives... Oh, Irvin's in the back. My God. I'm sorry. Listen, guys. I could not be more proud to serve with these 6 individuals. They get up every single morning and want to do what's the best thing for Dare County. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for being my partner. I'm also proud of our towns, our town mayors, and the boards that serve this community. Wonderful, hard-working people. Once again, those mayors, those board of commissioners, they do everything they humanly possibly can do to do what's best for their citizens. Either it be Manio, either it be Kill Devil Hills, either it be Southern Shores, either it be Duck. This entire country, this entire county, they work hard and diligently to make it happen. I could not be more proud of our superintendent of our National Park Service. He is not here today in his uniform. He is here today in street clothes because he cares about Dare County. They're on furlough. My friends, we in Dare County can get done together more so than what the federal government does in this country. We need to get our people back to work. And I could not be more proud to have that relationship with Dave Halleck. Dave, stand up. Thank you for what you do in this country. He's going to be pressed for time trying to find help for this coming season. He's losing revenue, folks. He's losing revenue. We got to get our people back to work. The Board of Education. John Farley, Artie, B. Bass Knight, the board members here, Joe Tarver, this young man right here, retired from the county, Mr. Twitty, on the board. Margaret, I didn't forget your name. She always accuses me of forgetting her name. We've got an unbelievable relationship with them. 5 on 5. We work together to make it happen in Dare County. $22 million of our budget, that I'm going to share with you in a little bit, goes towards that $54 million budget of Dare County. Our Board of Commissioners is committed to educating our kids and taking it to the next level. College of the Albemarle, all the way in the nosebleed section. Miss Bob Weiniger. I serve as a trustee on that board. I'm privileged to be able to work on that board and serve on that board. You would not believe the things that we've been able to accomplish in Dare County, and I'm going to share some more of that with you in this meeting. Bob, thank you for being an advocate of Dare County. Can't thank you enough. Our very effective tourism board. I saw Lee just a minute ago. He's all the way in the nosebleed section too. Lori's here. Thank you, Lee, for what you do. I believe Meyer Ladd Bone, where's Meyer Ladd? Back there, the chairman. I might get these numbers wrong, but I'm pretty close. Jeff, $10 million that board has given the towns in Dare County for bike paths. List goes on and on. $10 million. $10 million. The Chamber of Commerce, certainly last but not least, Karen Brown spearheaded putting this together. I got to brag, folks. I got to brag. Our numbers this morning, we're killing the governor. He didn't have nowhere near this many people. I'm also proud of the relationships that we have with our federal government, our legislators. Murray Joe's here for Senator Burr. Trey's here this morning for Tillis. Walter Jones is having some medical issues. But thank y'all for what you do. We have great relationships with all y'all. Great relationships, and we're proud to be able to work with you. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize our newly elected representative, Bobby Haney. Bobby, stand up. I said, Bobby, stand up. I love him to death. He knows I'm kidding with him. He's a great man. He's got a bill already working for us in the legislature. Bobby, thank you. We look forward to that relationship. I call him on the phone. It rings one time. He's picked it up. Mr. Chairman, what do you need? Bobby, thank you for that relationship. NCDOT, another great outfit that we work with, Alan Moran. I didn't see Alan this morning. Is Alan here? If he's not, we couldn't thank him enough for the relationship we have with the NCDOT, what they're doing for us. And finally, I'm proud of a lot of you in this room today that belong to grassroots organizations that provide valuable services to our residents in Dare County. A lot of you people serve on those boards. Folks, there's not another community in all of Dare County and 100 counties that have those avenues to work and help our citizens in Dare County. These nonprofit groups and organizations are the fabric that ties our community together. The fabric that ties our community together. While we live in paradise, we will still have challenges in 2019. I would like to share with you this morning the board's accomplishments in 2018, and then share with you a few challenges that we may have in 2019. Number one, right out the gate. Folks, we got a problem in Dare County, just like the rest of this country. Opioid. The commissioners declared opioid crisis a public nuisance in 2018. The board authorized the county and attorney, Mr. Alton, to pursue civil remedies. In addition, we approved the filing of civil lawsuit against those responsible for opioid crisis. There are some 400 lawsuits in this country right now going on with respect to opioid crisis. Supported efforts by Trillium and the Saving Lives Task Force to combat substance abuse. Vice Chairman Overman, a little more than 2 years ago, we got to do something. He formed the task force, brought in all the stakeholders working to try to curb opioid abuse. In addition to that, he belongs to the Trillium board, and I'm happy to report that Rob Ross has just joined that board as well. Vice Chairman Overman, thank you for your passion. Thank you for the work that you're doing that in the Saving Lives Task Force. Public health issues continued. We just recently went down to Hatteras. Vice Chairman Overman, Commissioner Ross, Irv Bateman, we went down there to look at the new facilities, the Hatteras Center, and this is a new place that we will have access to substance abuse, mental health resources by allowing Port to utilize the Hatteras Medical Center. Beautiful facility on Hatteras Island. Authorized funding for recovery court. This is huge, folks. Irvin Bateman, Vice Chairman Overman are working right now with Judge Tillett and Judge Trevette. We authorized $125,000 to get this recovery court going, and Vice Chairman Overman and Irvin Bateman are working with those two judges right now to get all the different things put together as to how we're going to handle that and how we're going to do that. We had some stormwater issues. 10 inches of rain, Roanoke Island. A lot of water, Matthew. We mobilized immediately once we found out that there were issues in Roanoke Island to take care of this problem at one of our board meetings. We conducted special meetings August 20 of this past year, and we invited the public to attend to this meeting to address stormwater management issues. We listened to the public about health concerns about stormwater management, and we took the next level. That very same meeting, we authorized $50,000 to pump 1.9 million gallons of water off of Roanoke Island. We immediately that evening had the very first pumper truck from Virginia come in and start pumping. We also had help from the wildlife folks that pumped all the way to the end of Holly Ridge Road. Margaret Umflint's aware of that. She was brutally flooded, and they pumped it all the way down to 64. What is that, County Manager? Probably a quarter of a mile? At least a quarter of a mile. They pumped for 2 solid weeks into the ditches. We authorized that. These folks out of Virginia worked for 2 weeks to pump 1.9 million gallons. The board identified short-term and long-term goals, and we're working on those now. We partnered with NCDOT to undertake a comprehensive stormwater management plan. We paid for that jointly with them. We should have that report hopefully by the end of this month. Hopefully by the end of this month. We discussed NCDOT's plan. Let me tell you something, folks. Highway 12, $2 million a year they spend to keep that corridor open. Matt, you're aware, you know, report it. Let's give them some kudos. Let's let the boys step up to the plate and stroke them. Same way with you, Jeff, as junior pilot. Unbelievable that we have that relationship with them and what they do for us in Dare County. Okay, we got some bear issues on Roanoke Island. Jim Tobin was approached by those folks over there. We jumped right on that one too. They would turn the trash cans up. They were eating the food. It was all over the place. They were in the neighborhoods. We authorized that very meeting to acquire 200 bear-proof trash cans for those citizens over there. I believe I got these numbers right. I think you can buy one for $88. If you want it delivered, we're going to charge you $96. But you can get a bear-proof can. We spent about $45,000 to buy those cans. Now, that's one good-looking hamburger or either chicken sandwich. If I hadn't had breakfast right now, I might have jumped on that. But we had requests for unincorporated Dare to conduct a public hearing about food trucks. We listened. We responded to the positive community feedback, and the board voted to allow these operations of food trucks in unincorporated Dare. Avon, I don't have to tell you, Avon's a problem, just like a lot of other places in our county. But we've been working diligently with them to try to resolve some issues there. Dave Halleck's been instrumental with the Park Service helping us deal with those issues. As most of you know, that property is on Park Service property, so tough to do a beach nourishment project. We'll continue to work collaboratively with those residents. We work with them every other month. We're getting ready to have another meeting with them, and we're working on short-term and long-term goals. Dave and his group has been kind enough to let them dump sand without having a whole lot of cost in permitting fees. Am I right there, Dave? And he did a blanket deal for those folks, those homeowners down there. So I can't commend him enough. Oh, this one's really, really my passion. Our board agreed to a $7.5 million consolidated state-of-the-art campus in Dare County, Roanoke Island. You're familiar with that. Folks, we cannot, and the reason we did this is I'm a trustee on the board. I talked to Paul O'Neill a couple of years ago. Paul says, Bob, you know, we need to step up to the plate on providing new facilities over there. I said, ain't no problem, Paul. You do a couple of things for me. You help me financially. You give me an associate's degree that our student doesn't have to travel to Elizabeth City to get it. Now, I don't have to tell y'all, 18-year-old boy, 18-year-old girl, leaving late in the afternoon this time of year, driving to take a class at COA in Elizabeth City, go to Barco, make that left-hand turn. Do I need to say any more? Dark as it can get. 18-year-old kids don't need to be doing that. I said, if you step up to the plate and do that, our board will talk about building a new facility on Roanoke Island. We're going to tear all those old school buildings down. We're going to do the state-of-the-art building, and we're in the process of looking at that now. We had it in a CIP for 2019. I'm hoping we can still do that. We budgeted funds for facility studies, improvements to the Department of Health and Human Services. Sheila's worked hard over there. Those facilities are run down. We got some issues over there, and we've got a CIP going over there that we're going to help them folks out over there, and that's under our CIP. We approved the capital improvement plan, including a much-needed new animal shelter. Commissioner Ross has been very, very engaged in that. He and Bobby Outen have vetted some good engineering companies to help us with those facilities. Anybody ever been over to Manio to that facility? Every time we get an inch of rain, the place floods. I mean, we can't have that. I mean, come on. We got to do this. Listen, once again, I cannot emphasize it enough. Our board is geared to making it happen in Dare County and doing what's best for Dare County. We've approved almost $567,000 post-project monitoring in Buxton. If we had not had that, and I talked to Dave earlier this morning in Buxton, he wouldn't have a hotel today. If we had not have done that beach nourishment, he would not have had a hotel today. Thank God we finished that project in time. And we're gonna apply for what's been lost with FEMA. And Josh, federal government, you know how that is, brother. We're gonna ride them. We're gonna ride them hard. Try to get it out of them. Oh, what a privilege this was. How many of you know the history of Captain Richard Etheridge? Raise your hand. Read the book Fire on the Beach. Slavery. Civil War. Came back to lead the rescue service on Hatteras Island. My God, what a phenomenal, phenomenal human being, Frank. Read his book. It will bring you to tears. Awesome human being. We all went down and named that bridge after Captain Richard Etheridge. What an honor. We established a timeline for debris pickup and county expenses following Hurricane Matthew. We didn't have enough to get our contractor to execute that contract, so we did it ourselves with 3 trucks. How many people in Collington are here today? I know we were a little slow. But guess what? Y'all had the most damage. So we were giving you plenty of time to pick up that, to get that debris. How'd you like that? Betty Jo, did I sleaze through that one? I got through that one good. Folks, we did that last. But guess what? We did it. Mark, we did it. We did it. We care about citizens of Dare County. Thank you, Collington, for being so patient. Most of you. I did have a few phone calls. I got one that I'd play here, but man, they'd run me out of here if you listened to it. So I better not share that one with you. Took steps necessary to pursue a public-private partnership for local dredge vessels. Jim Tobin, chairman of the task force. We formed that in 2013, Jim, in January, because we just kept getting our lunch eaten by the folks over there. We got to do something, got to do something. 5 years. It's been 5 years. His task force has been able to put this together. $15 million for a dredge, public-private partnership, that we're going to use for Oregon Inlet and Hatteras Inlet. I mean, Amy, it don't get any better than that. You know why? We want our commercial fishermen to have a highway to go to work. Our recreational fishermen, 5 years. Jim, I can't thank you enough for the work that you've done with the legislature and to making this happen. Steve serves on that board with him. Steve, thank you for what y'all do every single month making this happen. Continued support and funding for ongoing dredging Hatteras Inlet. I've already said that. We did a resolution, Kim, Manio, Mayor Owens, we did a resolution in supporting Manio with emergency dredging. $1.9 million. Well, we so good, guess who the mayor and Kim asked to run that project? They said, y'all got to run it for us. So we agreed to do that, right, Kim? Shallowback Bay, we're going to make that happen. We asked NCDOT to undertake a comprehensive navigational survey at Hatteras Inlet. We do that regularly in Oregon Inlet, and we've done this. Once again, our commissioners have stepped up to the plate, Trey. That's what we do in Dare County. Take it back to Tillis and let him know that. He probably already does know it because I know you. I know you well enough to know that you pass it on. Safeguarding our county's commercial fishing industry. Folks, ask Brownie Douglas, ask Steve House. That is not a friendly fro, that board. So we asked the governor to examine the membership of the Marine Fisheries Board, who is not pro-fishing, to ensure its function was intended for our commercial fishermen. We also approved an effort to revitalize the Dare County Commission workforce watermen. Steve House, Commissioner House, just brought that to us at our last meeting with some bylaws, with some membership requirements. We've named him as chair of that board. When you step up to the plate and you volunteer, guess what you get, Steve? That's right. Steve's worked hard. He's worked hard. Vehemently opposed the state plan to change the definition of commercial fishermen. Throughout the year, we've repeatedly fought against any change in that definition of fishing. Once again, how do I be politically right to say this? Let me just say that's one of the oldest professions in the world, and I'll leave it at that. Board endorsed the planning department website to assist property owners in navigating the complex changes so that our people can go online and see what those changes are. We launched a public awareness campaign. Pay attention to this. Low risk is not no risk. If you live in the X zone, you might think you're fat, dumb, and happy. You ain't, folks. One in four floods in that zone floods. Ask the people on Hatteras Island. Ask the people on Bay Drive. You're in the X zone, I don't care, you better buy it, because you're going to get flooded. Now, what about the 500-year storm? We've had 2 of them in the last 5 years. Community requests to ally operations of golf carts. That's the new norm of travel, folks, in Dare County. I don't know why we just didn't do this for the whole county, unincorporated Dare, but we did do it for Buxton and Wanchese. We have the sheriff reaching out to our Donna Creef in our planning department so we can work through the language to get that done. We've approved it there. Artie, if you got a golf cart, brother, you ain't driving it on Highway 12, I can tell you that. You can drive it in those inner side streets for 35 miles an hour. We ain't going to let you drive on 12. So just keep that in mind. Ever since 2014, every other year, I said, as long as I'm chair, we're going to have stewardship reports. We're going to be responsible to answering our constituents. We held 2 back to back. March 19, we did it in 14, did it in 16, we're doing it now in 18. Feddersen Center and Roanoke Island in March. These are good meetings, folks. If you've never been to one, come voice your opinion. Tell us what you need. Tell us what you want. Because we listen and we act. We have continued offshore opposition to offshore drilling. Y'all probably aware, I've been adamant about this. We cannot, under any circumstance, Tom Bennett, allow a $1.2 billion industry to go kabunk. We can't afford it. And I'll fight till the cows come home. I'll fight till the cows come home. We voiced our opposition to drilling at an important citizens rally. Commissioner Ross, county manager, Vice Chairman Ovum, and I went. I spoke at that function. I've been accused of, they think I was a Baptist preacher. I don't know. I hope I was, because I hope I got the message across. And I'm going to preach it as hard as I can preach it, because I believe in it. It's important. I traveled to Washington, D.C. To express my concerns with Boehm, Acting Superintendent Kershank. I didn't go there. I didn't want to insult their intelligence about offshore drilling and what was there. When I went, I offered them opportunities and other alternatives for drilling for oil. And hopefully he listened. He's got a biologist on his staff, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to give you 2 cents for the guy. But he believes in it. And he says it's all kind of oil out there. All kind of oil out there. Excuse me. We've got 3 canyons off our coast. It has been proven in seismic testing in the past. And I don't know that, does oil generate itself, Rob? I don't know. I don't know. You got to drill. The numbers, if you draw every bit of oil that's supposedly in those 3 canyons and bring it ashore, process it, and refine it, you will have enough oil to provide petroleum in the entire United States of America for 57 days. Give me a break. Give me a break. Just recently, Zanke in April said we're having trouble selling leases in the Gulf Coast. Well, heck, I wonder why. Exxon Valdez, billions of dollars of loss. The economy hadn't come back. We even had these crazy folks out here saying, oh, if we have an oil spill, it'll get in the Gulf Stream and we won't even come ashore. Give me a break. I can't believe that. He says, with that being said, having trouble in the Gulf Coast selling additional leases, he's afraid we might have the same problem on the East Coast. Well, guess what? I hope he is. Because listen to this, folks. The United States of America has the largest shale oil deposits in the entire world. 2.7 trillion barrels. And guess what? Guess what, Webb? We ain't even fracking for it. The oil companies want to drill onshore. It's cheaper. We got 10 states that are oil-producing states. They want to drill. We've got too much red tape. 141 rigs, 141 refineries in the United States of America. We've only built 17 since 1978. We can't produce enough oil, well, we are producing enough oil. We can't refine enough oil. That's why we can only refine 16 billion barrels a day, and that's why we're exporting oil. Loosen up the red tape. Let them fix those refineries. Let them drill for more oil. Let those 10 oil-producing states do it. They want it. They need the revenue. They want to pay their folks. I was invited to the governor's mansion to meet with the Secretary of Interior. In all due respect, the gentleman's gone from the Trump administration now. He tried to tell me that we were already drilling offshore. Well, he didn't know the difference between sucking sand off the bottom of the ocean and drilling. So I gave him some alternatives, and I gave him all of this stuff that I've talked to you about this morning. Folks, I'm going to fight this personally. I know my board's going to fight it. We've issued a number of resolutions. We cannot jeopardize, Dave, $1.2 billion economy. We can't. We cannot do it. As long as I'm chair, as long as I'm a commissioner, I'll fight it. Economic development, Karen Brown and her staff have stepped up. We had a study done from North Carolina State. They gave us a full report. We didn't have an economic developer on staff, so we partnered with the Business Bureau. We partnered with the chamber to do this. Karen's doing a great job. We even gave them $25,000. We gave them another $10,000 to look at housing issues. We got housing problems. I don't have to tell you. We're not going to use the word affordable. We're going to comparable housing. That's what we're going to do. And we're trying to look at that now. Our board has instructed the planning department to list of zoning suggestions to help us in unincorporated there. And we made some amendments and we made some changes, and hopefully this will help our builders and our developers to build some comparable housing. I know that we've requested the towns, all of these towns, Kill Devil Hills addressed it. Kitty Hawk is first out the gate. Urban, when you were on that board, y'all stepped up to the plate, did some things. We're trying to work with our towns to ease this, to help our housing needs. Here's some additional actions. We traveled to D.C. for a White House briefing on issues that were concerning Vice Chairman and myself, and County Manager went up there and listened to a all-day session on concerns, and we certainly met with Senator Burr to talk about beach nourishment, other lingering issues in Dare County. We also met with Jones's office, and we met with some of Tillis' staff that same day we were up there. I said this earlier. You won't find a finer gentleman than Dave Hallett. We've not had the relationship with the Park Service that we've had with Dave Hallett. I am proud to say that he is a friend of mine. He does everything he can, and he responds. And I'm just so sad that him and his staff are going through what they're going through now. He and I try to have breakfast once a month, and we talk about what we can do, Randy, to make Dare County a better place to live. Continued working closely with NCDOT on the bridges, roads, and inlets. They're very helpful with us, especially the roads. My God, I mentioned it earlier, $2 million to keep Highway 12 open. Additional board actions. We support beach nourishment safety campaign, and beachgoers stay informed about the latest conditions. We had the Love the Beach, Respect the Ocean. We also, you can text to find the conditions. Right here, roughly $40 million in Nags Head. Ben, what was it, 7 years ago? Where's Ben? 7 years ago? They're getting ready to do a maintenance project, $36 million in 19. Northern Beaches, $40 million project. Just finished it this summer. Buxton, $20 million plus project. Once again, we cannot afford to spend $100 million and not maintain what we spent. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Nags Head's getting ready to do a maintenance project. And we're hoping that the Northern Beaches, and we're hoping that the Buxton project will go, they're only designed for 5 years. And we got 7 in Nags Head, so I'm hoping we'll get the same out of these 2 projects that we finished in 2018. Financial accountability. Last year we approved the financial budget with no ad valorem tax increases. We improved the fund balance and exceeded the targeted fund balance policy requirements of the county for the last fiscal year. We were around 19% and some change. We're up to almost 24%. That's huge. We have paid off an insurance deficit almost $4 million. And we ended the year with an $86,000 leftover. That's a huge jump in the last couple of years. Continue to maintain our excellent AA plus bond rating. Folks, we couldn't do it without this man sitting right here, Dave Clausen. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Damn guy's a genius. I can't add 10 and 10. I call him all the time. I said, Dave, I'm going to ask another dumb question. But, and you go to him and you go to Dave and say, gosh, Dave, we got to do this. We got to do that. Ain't no problem, Chairman. We can have it. Where does he come with this stuff? Where is he? Listen, Rob Ross is second to none as far as financial guru in this country. Heck, he even says, he says, my God, look at what Dave does for us. It's incredible. It's incredible what he does. What does he do? I'll tell you what he does. He does 27,000 tons of a pickup. No. What he does, let me tell you, let me give you the numbers. 12 counties with over 50,000 employees, 12 counties have AAA bond rating. Only 12 counties. 8 counties have AA plus bond rating. Guess what? Dare County's 38,000, the lowest one in the group, and the only one in the group in the entire state of North Carolina under 50,000 employees that have a AA bond rating. Why? Let me tell you why. This is over my head, so I had to write these notes. Very strong management team. That's Bobby and that's David. Competitive budgeting practices. Multi-year financial planning. Strong budget flexibility. Very strong liquidity. Adequate debt and contingent liability profile. And a strong economy. Year in review. Like I said, 27,000 tons that our public works picked up this past year. 285,000 trips that our transportation department, even out of county trips. 4,700 of our kids taking programs and participating in Tim White's Dare County Parks and Recreation programs. 178,000 citizens borrowed items from the Dare County libraries. Now that one blew my mind because I didn't think people read books anymore, but they do. 973 marriage licenses. Man, Marguerite, we got a lot of people getting married in Dare County. I mean, something's going on. Top 10 in the whole state in the United States of destinations for wedding venues. Our Veterans Department helped 50 veterans with health care enrollment, and we did 30 pension claims, helped them with their pension claims. 3,000 immunizations. Sheila, your department did. I wished I'd had one of them. But they did 3,000 of those last year. 1,845 health services conducted, established inspections. That's going out and checking our restaurants and our places for their sanitation. Issued 322 permits, and we had investigated 30 complaints. 11,000, almost 12,000 partnerships with local law enforcement officers with the pill drop-off. I believe KDH has got one, right, Sheila? Commissioner Vice Chairman Owen, where's the rest of them? Yeah, Nags Head, Sheriff's Department will come to your home pick up. Great stuff, folks. Great stuff. 1.2 million miles driven by our Sheriff's Department. Murray, I'm scared to ask how much that gas costs. But they're doing the right thing. They're protecting our citizens. 9,400 med flights. Look at this, folks. 303 life-saving medical transport missions. That's almost one a day. I told you I was halfway decent in math. 160,000 phone calls at our 911 facility for our 3 counties. This is one of my passions. Educating our kids. I said it earlier. We give the school board $22 million plus to help them with their $54 million budget. This is our passion. Folks, right here, see this piece of paper right here? This is an agenda at our board meetings twice a month. It's got the stationery on top. Right underneath the date of the month of the meeting, it's in bold letters. How will these decisions impact our children and our families? How will these decisions impact our children and our families? We continue to work closely with the Board of Education on 5 and 5. I said that earlier. I appointed a COA task force to look at public meeting to determine curricular needs. I mentioned earlier that we wanted to give some input to Dr. Weiniger's team on curriculum. I chose the best commissioner that I could think of at the time to do that, who served on the BOE, and that's Danny Couch. Danny Couch said, Bob, I'll take it and I'll run with it. And Danny Couch did one hell of a job meeting with those folks and our stakeholders. We had a committee to look at that, to come up with solutions, suggestions for curriculum for COA. We received the final report of that curriculum, and we passed it on to Dr. Weiniger. And Dr. Weiniger has been gracious enough to say, Bob, we can meet those needs. We can take care of those needs in Dare County. We launched a public awareness campaign promoting opportunities available for Dare campus and high school. I went with Dorothy to Manio High School to sit down with some students. I wanted to know what they were thinking. You want to go to 4-year school? You want to go to 2-year school? What? I was blown away. 100% of those kids in that room that I talked to that day, Leo, you know how they want to learn? They want to be in the classroom with classroom instruction. Now, I don't have to tell y'all, all the colleges today, they want online. They want online. They want online. It's money. But these kids, you know what else they said? I want to go to a 4-year school. But if it's going to help my parents, I'll sacrifice and go to 2 and then go to a 4-year school. Now, folks, I'm about to bring up somebody. I was blown away when I met this young lady recently, Fathom Daniels. I happened to be over at the admin building, and she's working with our IT folks over there, and they introduced me to her. I am so proud of this young lady. 1.5 years. She's getting her associate's degree. She's got her grandmother here with us today. She's got her parents here with us today. You know how much it cost her to get an associate's degree? Yes. 0. Dual enrollment. Fathom, come tell us your story, dear. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for letting me speak with you all today. So when Chairman Woodard asked me to come talk to you, I was super excited to tell you everything that dual enrollment has done for me. When I stepped into high school, everything was kind of changing for the better. Programs were advancing, and younger people had more opportunities. So when I heard about dual enrollment, I knew I had to jump right in. I went into 10th grade, and by my second semester of 10th grade, I could have finished high school. I was 15. I couldn't go to college. I was scared. So then my guidance counselor, Marie White, I have to give her all the credit in the world, told me about dual enrollment and how I could get my associates while I was still in high school, which would save me so much money and so much time. So it doesn't seem like that long of a time, but at the beginning of this year, last year, I started my associates in science at COA. I maintained a full course load at college, 15 credits the first semester, as well as 3 other high school classes. And this semester, I'm doing 20 credit hours at COA, as well as 3 other high school classes. Because of this and the dedication from my school and this program, in December of this year, I will have my associates in science after 1.5 years, which is a great load off for me. I wanted to go to NC State, and I was kind of worried about how I would get in and what I would do, and this program really guided me and told me where to get where I needed to be. I'm very interested in science. It's been something I've wanted to do ever since I was in preschool. When most children were writing, I wanted to be a ballerina on the sheet, I was writing a doctor or a scientist. So because of this program, I will transfer into NC State as a junior with freshman status. It will take me 2 years to get a bachelor's in genetics, and then I will transfer or apply to medical school where I can practice molecular genetics.
Thank you so much, Fathom.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you.
All right.
I can't even spell molecular genetics. I don't even know what the heck molecular genetics is, you know. Folks, that's our kids. That's our kids. I'm telling you, I cannot be more proud cannot be more proud of what she has accomplished. I'll take it a step further. Dr. Farley, Artie Tillett have no problem saying they got their education at a community college their first 2 years. And then they went on, and you can see where they are today. John's got his doctorate degree. Artie's an administrator for our county public schools. They were awesome. They were awesome. And going to community college, I took a little bit different path, Clark Twitty. When I was a senior in high school, I got out, Monica Clark. I went to Lewisburg Junior College. That was the first time I was ever away from home. I don't have to tell you what an 18-year-old boy does the first time away from home. I was there 1 quarter. 1 quarter I was there. They asked me to take a sabbatical. Well, guess what, folks? 2 weeks later, Ben, guess what I got in the mail? Lyndon Johnson needed my services. Well, about a month later than that, I was on the way to Fort Knox, Kentucky. Hell, I didn't even know where Kentucky was. Did my thing. Talk about a wake-up, folks. I had a wake-up. Folks, our board is committed to educating our students in Dare County. Look at these numbers. $6,500 for an associate's degree in Dare County at COA. $6,500. Go to East Carolina as a freshman, sophomore, $37. Go to state, $42. You might want to think that again, family. Right here. I like this right here. I like this right here. ECU. All right. I'm a pirate. UNC, 37. Appalachian State, 31. Then you say, okay, hold on, time out, Bob. Let's take out the room and board. Okay, I'll be fair enough. By the way, Tommy, you need to work on them on that tuition fee down there in state. Get them lowered. Come on down to the ECU level. Let's take out the room and board. ECU still 10 grand higher. Same here. They're 13 higher at state. Come on, Tommy. Work on them. UNCW, 10. Same thing with Appalachian State. Folks, with the employment in Dare County, we got to do everything humanly possible, Pam, to help our parents be able to send their kids to college. What better way to send them to COA for $6,500 and get that degree? Then let them go on. North Carolina. Clark, I think you can back me up on this. North Carolina, number 10 in the country in school debt for graduating college seniors. Number 10 in the country. 68% of the graduating students from college in the state of North Carolina have school debt. 6% interest rate for 10 years. If you go back and look at the numbers, about $400 and some a month. If you go to COA and then go to a 4-year school and come back, it's a total of $68,000 for ECU. That's about $400 and some a month for 10 years at 6%. Go to a 4-year school, a whole different ball game. Now you're looking at $750 for a 10-year note at 6%. How many young graduating seniors in high school, college, come home, and that's the first thing staring them in the face when they get a job, is that chunk of money. Folks, I'm telling you, man, COA is the route. John Farley and I have been hitting the circuit, and we're promoting it. We've been to about 7 or 8 PTA meetings, and we'll continue to go more. If you're in the Rotary here today, wherever, home builders, wherever, I want to talk to you. Let me come to your board, Monica. This is huge. I'm going to push this, and push this, because it's all about educating our kids. All about educating our kids. I'm going to wrap up now and talk to you about looking ahead. These are some issues that we need to keep focused on in 2019. Continued our focus on beach nourishment, education, offshore oil and gas, COA, housing, economic development, our animal shelter, our bridges, and our stormwater management. Folks, I'm honored to stand before you in front of our board. You elected me in 2012 as your commissioner. I've done everything humanly possible I could do to make you proud. I will continue to do that along with my board. And I consider it a very, very honor to stand before you today, to be able to share the accomplishments of a board that's committed to you as the citizens of Dare. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for what you do in your daily job, either as elected official or as a nonprofit member of a board. We work together, we get it done. I'll close with Mother Teresa, great humanitarian, and a lesson we really need to learn from. She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979, unlike me. And when she won that award, she said, when we work hard all day long, it feels like we're only a drop in the ocean. But if our individual drops were not in the ocean would be dry. Every one of you in this room today is a drop in that ocean. Without each and every one of you, we would be empty and dry. Thank you.